Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So today we'll begin with the hardening of Ubuntu operating system. So first you have to boot up your operating system. Once it comes to the login screen, you do what? You log in. So I'm going to log into my Ubuntu and wait for it. Yep, once it logs in, as you can see, everything looks good from the desktop standpoint. We're gonna skip things for now. As you can see, right now my computer is not connected to the internet, so that's one of the things I have to take care of. So I'm gonna minimize my screen, and I can go to my Hyper-V manager, look for my Ubuntu, right click on that, and click on settings. When I was doing the install, I took out the internet, so this is the time to connect it. So I'm going to connect it to my default switch and apply and okay. Let's go back to the Ubuntu, make it big, and you can see now we have internet. That's why you see this is enabled now. So skip and no. Okay, I'll give them the opportunity. Next, turn off privacy. Next, and we're done. So this is how you first log in with an initial install. You have all those extra stuff um, to perform. But we're going to begin learning how to harden our operating system. So what's the first thing that we do when we want to harden the operating system? The first thing that we will do is to make sure that the operating system is what? Updated. So make sure the operating system is what? Updated. So you're going to go to the terminal. So terminal. So there you go. So click on just the show applications and click on terminal. The terminal window will show up. Let me maximize it. So the first command that you run is, so for example, if you're an administrator, you use what? You don't have to use sudo. But if you are just a user, regular user, you have to use what? Sudo. Sudo means super user do. Okay? So we run the command apt update. Update reading package list done. Will not open the permission denied. So I made it clear, if you are not an administrator, what do? You type sudo first, super user do, then apt, then what? Update. This way it should ask for your password. Yes. And then it will begin the process. A second. And now you see it's working fine. So we're waiting for it to do the update, and we'll go to the next one. The next one we'll do is run an upgrade after that. So we're just going to wait for it. I'm sipping my tea while waiting. It's 61%. See, it's not that hard. So this is the first process of beginning. Let's just like every other operating system. For example, if you install your Windows 10, the first thing you need to do if you are security conscious is to run an update, because you don't know when was the last time that your installation package was built. So it's important to run an update for any patches, that patch release that was made after the operating system that you downloaded. So it's important to secure your system. So that's the first thing you do. So you update your system. As you can see, the upgrade, the update is complete. So the update is complete. So now we run an upgrade as well. So upgrade is like maybe for the latest operating system. For example, if you are Windows 10, upgrading will be like to take it to Windows 11, maybe the next best version of it, of addition, you know. So upgrade. So every once in a while, I have to enter my password. After a period of inactivity, Ubuntu will log you out. Hey guys, welcome back. So our upgrade process has been completed successfully. You can see on my screen here. It took so long, but I ended with some few errors. You know, failed to fetch whatever this was, and that. So, but it's saying that if we run this command, those gonna be fixed. So I just run that command. So the update, and everything is now done. So we are all ready to go. So we finished our update, and we also finished our upgrade. So now what is the next thing that we have to do as part of hardening? The next thing that we'll be talking about is creating a user. Now, this is just to teach us how to lock an account. Okay, user accounts are not used. So user accounts that we have on the system that are not going to be used, we're going to make sure that what we lock them. For example, let's say we create a user. Okay, let's create a user called student. So to create a user is sudo user add or add user. You can use any of them. We're going to practice both of them in this course. User add -s /bin /bash. So this /bin /bash students, it shows the path. Where do you want to put the student? Like which directory do you want to store the student user account? So we're going to say bash and then the name of the user account. This is for going to be like, let's say student, and we press enter. Now we have to create a password for the user. So we just say sudo again. The reason why we're using sudo is because we are not the root user. So if you are not a root user, you use what? Super user do before. So sudo and the name of the what you want to set password. So look at the structure. First sudo, then what? User add, then the user. No, then the path, then the user. Then the next one is sudo, then what? Pass wd, that's password, and then what? The name of the user account you want to set the password for. Then you're going to create the password. It's going to prompt you for a new password. Repeat that process. Just like, so you say password updated successfully. So that is done. Now we're going to type who we are, or who am I, as a command. Okay, this currently tells us that the person that is logged on is what? An Ninja, okay? Okay, so now let's log in as root, as the main administrator, okay? So to do that, you type sudo -i. So you see root, then at what? The name of the computer, okay? So just know that if you are in any particular user account and you want to switch to what? The root user, you just type in what? Sudo -i. So we're going to verify some user informations or some user accounts that are currently in the system. The command that we can use to do that is tail shadow. Okay, so this is the command we type to verify, but I'm using tail. So it's a big folder, okay? It's a big file that contains all the users in the system. But to verify specifically the end part of it, because we just added a new user, so we should be going to the end of it. And tail will help us to see that. We'll use head as well. So shadow. So you're gonna see we have currently users, like a user that I created while I was doing the process is what? Anas Nanjo is here. Then we also have what? Student. So these are the what? Are the users that are currently, and we also have what? Let me see 1 second. Let me do this first. So let's see head. We did a tail, so let's do head. Okay. So on the very top, you can see that there is what? Root. And all the other users, sync, games, all of them are all here. You can see them. So like I said, this is how you use what? A head and a tail. Okay? Tail is for the very end of the file, because the file we are looking at is what? Shadow. Okay, and it's found in this directory structure. So that is how it is labeled. Okay. So now we have the student is added. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to lock the student account. Remember, the goal for this particular session is to teach you how to lock unused accounts. We are fine with the current Anas Ninja account that we have. We don't want any other account called student, but we created it so that we can be able to what? Lock it. How do you lock a user account? Just say passwd -i. So that's -l. This is to lock. So if you lock the password, means the user is locked. Okay. passwd -l, okay, and lowercase l, and then the name of what? The account you want to lock. So in this case, we want to lock what? Student, the one that we don't need. It said we should verify. Okay, so password expiration information what? Changed. That means it's been locked. So we're going to go back again and verify with the tail account to see what the structure of the file will look like right now. So what's the difference? First, when we first did the tail, when we first ran this command tail etc shadow, you realize that under the user student there was no exclamation point. You see there's nothing there. But now let's look. After we ran this command passwd -l student and we went again to see the end of the file, when you observe the student, you will see that there is an exclamation mark on the student. That shows that the account is being what? Locked. So now let's try to type in su. Su means this is used to change user, okay, to switch to a user. So su student. Sorry, we have to go because we are in root, it will not work. So we have to exit. So exit, exit. Now say su student. It asks for password. Okay, it failed. So first, the reason why the first one worked was because we were in what? A student in a root user, okay? So we have to exit out. Once we exit out, you see that it gives us the opportunity to now use the command to go in as a student, as you know. And once we do that, it prompts for password. You put the password, it said what? Authentication failed because this current user is currently what? Locked. Now, how do you unlock student? Again, remember the only thing that we did was what? Change the password or lock the password using the password. Okay, so now to do unlock it with the same passwd. So but remember, we are not a root user, so I'm currently logged in as what? An as Nanjo. So that means I have to use the what? Sudo. So sudo, then what? passwd -u. U means to unlock, okay? Then student. And again it changed. Now let's try to log back in as what? Student. So su student and put the password. And there we are. Now we logged in as what? Student. Perfect. Now we're going to learn how to remove what? The root user account. So let me exit out. Okay. I've exited out of student. So as you can see, exit will take you back what? To the person that was there. So to take you out of the student account. There are so many ways I could have done that. I could have also used su and then my name and put my password and go in. So different ways. So now we're going to go in and type in what? So the goal for this next is to lock the root user. Okay, you need to lock the root user. To do that, you have to go into a file called passwd. So to do that, you say sudo. I'm using sudo because I'm a what? I'm not a root user, so I have to use sudo, else I will not have the privileges to do that. So sudo nano, then space etc. This slash is saying that this pass pwd. Let me write it first. Slash passwd. Okay, so nano means it want to read it and you can edit it. That's why you use nano. Okay, nano means to read the file and edit it. Then space slash means that it's a directory that password is in. Okay, so now enter. As you can see, now we can what? Edit it. So our goal is here. See, root is here. We want to make sure we change the root user to lock it so that people cannot just use the root account. It's important because root is the super user, like the most important user. So it's good to lock it, and everybody knows that name. So that is why it's important to what? To lock it down. And to edit that, we just have to change where it says sbin. So here, where it says bin, we change that to what? Sbin. Change this to what? Sbin. And bash, we delete bash. And put what? No log gain. That's it. This is how you block root. Okay? Now how do you save? Control S. Press Control what? S. So you see that 49 lines wrote, and now we have to exit. Control what? X. Alright, that's how you block root user. That was easy. So we finished with that objective as well. So the next thing that we're going to do is try to log in as root to verify if the root account is actually disabled. So we say sudo sudo dash I, sudo dash what I, and press enter. So the account is currently not available. So this is how you block what root account. Okay. Now the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to install nmap. Nmap is used to listen to ports to see which ports are open and which ports are not open and stuff like that. It's a cybersecurity tool. So first we have to install the application. So let's say nmap first. Nmap. So you see it's not installed. Okay. So let's say let me do it properly. So sudo nmap. It's not there. So we have to install it. So we say what? Sudo, this is how you install the app. Sudo apt install nmap. And this is going to give us a chance to what? Install it. Easy as that. While we wait for it to install, we can decide to open another terminal. So new window, and I want us to do some things. Let's start learning about nmap before it finishes installing, okay? How do you do that? You just put the command what manual for man, okay? Man and the name of the what application nmap. So man nmap. That man is like a manual. What is the manual for nmap? You press enter. It's going to tell us what it is used for. So for example, if there's any tool or any command that you want to learn how to use, you just use what man and the name of the command, okay? So nmap and network what mapper, that's the name. It is an open source tool for network exploration and security what auditing. It was designed to rapidly scan large networks, although it works fine against single host. nmap uses raw IP packets in naval ways to determine what hosts are available on the network. Actually, this is a very important tool. See, to use it, you just write nmap dash a dash whatever, and it's going to bring out the outputs properly for you. So let's use it. So now it's finished installing. Let's minimize this one. You can see it's finished installing. So let's do that. So to use it, you just write what nmap, and then the name of the what host, or the IP address of what the host. So in this case, if we use 127.0.0.1. For those of you who don't know, this address is the loopback address. It means that it's used to verify the host itself, the actual computer. I mean the Linux. That's the only host right now we have currently running. Let's say, for example, I have another host. For example, let me minimize my screen. So let's say I have Linux Mint. Let me turn on Linux Mint. I want us to do something together. Start. So Linux Mint. So okay. So what's the login? Is OEM. Show the IP address show. So what is this address? Okay, let's say right now, let me check the internet to see if it is connected. So let's check the internet. So right click on this settings and go to network adapter. As you can see, it's not connected. So one more thing before I go there. Observe this. When I say, you can see the screen that it's saying the INET address is what? 127.0.0.1. That is the local host itself address. So you see it's telling you that that is the address. That was the one that we are using for the other one. So let's now connect it to the internet, default, and apply, and okay. So I'm going to go back and verify that again one more time. So press the up arrow key, show IP address. Okay. Right now we have 192.168.194.118. So 192.168.194.118. So we're going to go back in here. Where are you at? So we're going to do that. So nmap So let's check this one too. So IP address show. So they are on the same network. 94.118. Saying that studying, okay. Nmap scan report, okay. All who scans on Linux Mint. Oh, you see, it found it. Linux Mint, okay, are closed. So it actually scanned it, but it found that, you see the result, right? The ports, which expecting to see some ports open, but it said that the ports on the host, which is correct because it's called a Linux Mint, and that's the joke. If you let me show it back to you one more time, let me put all of them on. So Linux Mint host. You see the host is what? Anas Linux Mint Anas Nanjo. That's the name of the host, as you can see over here. Okay, so it scanned it and the ports were what? Closed. So now let's go back to our Ubuntu. We're not doing Linux Mint today. So today is what? Ubuntu. So let's do one more time. So when it does a scan, let's see for Nmap. So you see the only port that is open in this particular host that we are working on is what? Port 631 TCP. So this is the service that uses that port is IPP. Okay. All right. So this is how Nmap works. So in some cases you would have seen more ports open than this, but this is how Nmap it works. All right. Now the next thing that we are going to do is show our IP address so that we can disable all the other IP versions that we don't use. So in this case, there are only two versions, IPv4 and IPv6. So in our case, let's check to see, do we have an IPv6 address that we are not using? So we can just what? Disable that. So IP address show. And for those of you who want to go back to commands, previous commands, you just use what? The up arrow key. Okay. So in this case, you can see that, okay, see here, so no IP prefix route. So this one we are not using. So we're gonna delete, we're gonna not delete, we want disable it, the IPv6. So we're using this one. So we're gonna disable IPv6. So to disable IPv6, again, we have to go to the file that contains the information for what? IPv6. So the name of the file is systemctl or sysctl.conf. So let's do that. So sudo, we are using sudo because what? We are not a root user. We are currently what? Anas Nanjo, not root. So we are not a root user. So you have to use sudo. Okay? If you are a root user, you don't have to use that. So let's go. Sudo nano. Nano will help us what? Edit the file. Where is the file located? etc sysctl-conf and press enter. So these are the as you can see, this is the configuration file that hosts IP addressing and stuff like that. So you can see everything is here, IPv6, all the informations are there. So if you want to disable IPv6, so as you can see, this is IPv6 stuff, and these are the other stuff that are distributed around. So our focus is to write some new information at the end of the file to disable it. To do that, you just write net.ipv6.conf.all.disable underscore IPv6 equal 1. Okay. next line, net.ipv6.conf.all, default dot disable equal underscore ipv6 equal 1. Next one, net.ipv6.conf.lo.disable underscore ipv6 equal 1. Now once you're done, you press Control plus what? S to save, Control plus X to exit. Now you're gonna do sudo sysctl-p. So this will display the configurations that we've added. Now we're going to write another command. Cat /proc /sys /net /ipv6/conf/all/disable underscore ipv6. So when you run this command, if you see that the result is 1, because after we press enter it was 1, then just know that ipv6 is now disabled. Okay, so now we're going to show IP address. So it's a command I have done before. IP address show, that's how you write it. And you can see in here we still have net, what is it? So observe the differences. So first one, you see inet6, and the second command, so this is before we ran made these changes. Okay, and the second one, after we've made all the changes, you can see that inet6 is not there. It's only inet, which is for IPv4. Okay, so this means that we have been able to successfully disable our IPv6 because we are not using it. So as part of the hardening process, we have been able to achieve all our goals. First, we've learned how to update and upgrade our Linux operating system after it has been successfully installed. Second, we've learned how to disable a user account that we created and we don't need it. So we learn to lock it and learn to unlock it. Third, we've learned how to install an application like Nmap and used it to scan ports both locally and with our Linux Mint PC. We've also learned how to disable the root account because it's a very powerful account. The most important thing is to disable it, and everybody's aware of it. So we learn how to do that. And finally, we've learned how to disable our IPv6 if not in use. So on that note, I will say we've accomplished all our goals for the class, and I thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have learned something on this particular video, and please make a comment on how we can improve the content, and also please like the video and subscribe if you are not subscribed to the channel. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching.